Welcome to the Complete Story series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you, adding in some music, and I pretend I know how to voice act and pretend I'm the characters. It's a way for us to bring you a motion comic, and the purpose of this is to allow you to understand your favorite comic books, movies, and video games a little bit better. Understand the pop culture that is so popular in the nerd sphere right now, so you can go and talk to your favorite friends. Well, I mean, my favorite friends are Dan and Houston, and we talk about this all the time. But either way, go talk to your friends about this. Today we're going to be covering The Web of Venom. It's a spin-off series from the Venom series that Donny Cates has created, and it is allowing him to further develop the Venom universe. Today's episode is the return of Carnage, and how Donny Cates is going to be incorporating him into the main storyline. I hope you enjoy! On Wednesday night at the Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane, a boy was born. Cletus Cassidy. It's also the same night that Cletus Cassidy died for the first time. He was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, choking him to death. However, he was reborn, and no one to this day knows why. Cletus himself claims to remember that moment. And if asked, he'll tell you that 19 minutes and 38 seconds later, he was sent to hell. He states vividly that when he awoke in hell, he found himself in a cage, in an endless black abyss. This was his initial trauma, that feeling of being caged, that formed the foundations of Cletus's particular devotion. In his mind, he's never mutilated his victim, he's merely set them free. The second rebirth, well, it happened inside the walls of a prison. That night, the darkness came alive, shattering the walls of his cell. The abyss set him free. And it was in that moment, whether he knew it or not, that he became an agent of the Void. That day he learned the truth, that there was no right or wrong, no black or white. The universe was red and black. Truth is chaos and God is carnage. As the Acolyte told the stories to her brothers and sisters, she tells them that now there is a new grand darkness before them. Many have worn their God's living darkness, stumbled into it upon it, but the darkness chose Cletus. Cassidy was born on this earth to shatter the walls of their cages. He has died and been reborn for them and for him. Cassidy is the one. He will rise. Our God will be free. The Acolyte holds a torch to the carvings on the walls, showing the downfall of their Lord of Darkness, Null. Struck down by the light and came back in pieces, I have shared with you. She moves to the next carving, showing a picture of the symbiote God Null, and yells that they do these things in his name, in servitude of the Great Dark, so that they may join the Black King Null in the final fight, forever and together in the Void, forever and together. The others begin to chant forever and together, and as they go on, the Acolyte calls out, asking the question, where is Cletus Cassidy? Is he not dead? Aren't those rumors and whispers? They have been told that he was taken to the darkness of space, ripped apart, and left floating and dead. But then he was reborn, and he continued his divine work, freeing the souls in the American heartland. And then he died, only to be reborn again. Some say he was stolen, taken far away, and others say that he died for good this time, but we know better. The abyss is not death. Darkness is not the end. And so what then of the man Cletus Cassidy? What became of him? How did he return from the brink? The answer is, of course, no great mystery. He burned. After we discovered his body, we performed extensive research to determine how this man could have survived re-entry into the atmosphere, but we already knew the answer. Cletus and his symbiote have a very unique bond, a perfect one. Where there is one, there is always the other. As he fell, this gentle creature breached his flesh to face the flame one final time to bring our carnage home. It was agony for the symbiote, even after the Darkhold curse gave it its immunity to fire and sound. It must have known that it was giving its life for his. Born and reborn from the tendrils of the abyss, it was without a doubt Cletus Cassidy's most beautiful rebirth yet. However, minutes after he fell to earth, he died. Locals found his body and turned him into the authorities. He was identified by his dental records, and his name set off hundreds of red flags across every agency. But we watched those lists. There was quite a battle to recover Cletus's body. Many of them died, but fewer of our brothers and sisters died. The Acolyte unveils the containment device holding his body, stating, "We have waited for this day," and she holds up a vial of black liquid. She goes on stating that their men led an assault to recover the stolen remnant of Null's symbiote. This was it, the Maker, the man who stole the sample. He called it a codex. We thought that when a symbiote leaves its host, its influence, its connection is lost. But apparently that is not the case. Every symbiote leaves behind a genetic imprint of itself wrapped around the DNA helix of its host. It was theorized by the Maker that this codex could be used to communicate information about the host to the collective symbiote hive. Do you even realize what this means? This tiny piece of Null's dragon. We can talk to a god. Every symbiote leaves a trace of itself on its host, and if that's the case, then this sample must contain the psychic remnants of Null's connection, giving us his voice. All we need is an amplifier. The Acolyte injects the codex into Cletus's life support, and as the black liquid takes over, there's a loud bang. Cletus begins to beat on the device from inside, shouting no, but outside the Acolyte shouts yes! Shatter your cage and be reborn, Cletus. The Covenant begins chanting again as Cletus begins to break free, and then Cletus, wearing the primordial symbiote, begins to laugh maniacally. But after a few moments, he covers his head, shouting, "Loud! Shut up!" One of the brothers asks what's happening, and the Acolyte says that it's him. He's talking to him. Cletus is connected to Null, a Dark Lord of the Abyss, and the mind of Cletus are fighting for dominance inside of the same body. Can you imagine the violence inside? Cletus falls to the ground in pain, and the Acolyte tells him that she knows it hurts. She knows he's incomplete, but she can help him. The symbiotes leave a piece of themselves behind in every host that they bond with, and she has one as well. She can feel it swirling around inside of her. It is their god's dark carnage made flesh. She is merely his scorn. She offers him her codex to make him whole. The surgery is difficult, but with the Maker's research, they believe that they can. But before she can finish, Cletus reaches out, grabbing her, and there's a blood-curdling strip, followed by an ear-piercing scream. He licks the blood off of the Acolyte's bones, laughing. He grabs his face, stating, "Your loonies are right. I do feel better after a snack. I'm not sure what the hell that Null was on about, but Daddy needs some more." Cletus begins to grab another Acolyte, shedding the black of the primordial suit and turning it red, like Carnage. He tells the Acolyte, "I want to talk to God again. How do I go about that?" The Acolyte explains that there are codexes, and they think that if he absorbs all of the pieces of the symbiotes left behind in their hosts, he can rejoin the hive and awaken Null. They can set him free. Cletus says, "Goody! Where are they?" The Acolyte says that they are attached to the DNA of anyone who has ever worn a symbiote. They're everywhere. So Cletus squeezes, and there's a splorch. And he laughs, "Ha! Well, I'll be damned! I suppose I better get to work." As Cletus turns to the wall of monitors, there are pictures of everyone who has ever bonded with a symbiote across the entire world. And there you have it, guys, the return of Carnage in one of the most epic and spectacular ways ever. I mean, seriously, I love Carnage and I love Venom, but Carnage is, they literally made fun of him in the story. He died, he came back, he died, he came back, he died, he came back, and that's basically what happens to Carnage. But this way, he's now gonna go hunt down everyone who ever had a symbiote. What I'm honestly hoping for, and I haven't looked at the solicits, so I don't know, is that they're gonna be like a Carnage spin-off series of him going around trying to kill people, and just have Carnage killing everyone in the Marvel Universe, but not really, because he'll always fail, because he's a supervillain. It'd be awesome. Either way, if you wanna know what's happening with the storyline, please consider subscribing to our channel. If you enjoyed what we did with this video, it's the best way to keep up to date as to what's happening in your favorite pop culture icons. And you can also find me over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/eligiblemonster is where me and the team bring you like a dozen different podcasts that are super fun for us to do. Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, we do stuff there. And then we also play games on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Just various games over there, from like Warframe to Final Fantasy, stuff like that. Either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if the bare minimum, please just consider subscribing, giving this video a like, and let me know in the comments down below what you want to have happen to Carnage.
You can follow me on Twitter, Houston_H.
How long have you been there?
The whole time.